Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Yasmin Gramian, PennDOT Secretary, and I'm pleased to join my colleagues at the Pennsylvania State Police, Pennsylvania Turnpike Commission, and the Associated Pennsylvania Constructors to call attention to work zone safety. National Work Zone Awareness Week, which begins next Monday, April 11th, runs through April 15th. We are beginning another construction season, and while that means orange barrels, it also means improved roads and bridges. But construction season also too often means hazards for the men and women who are delivering these benefits. Since 1970, PennDOT has lost 90 workers in the line of duty, 90 workers. Additionally, according to the preliminary PennDOT data, there were 1,617 crashes in Pennsylvania work zone area in 2021. Those crashes took lives of 15 people. We want that number to be 0. That's why we urge motorists to slow down and pay close attention when in the work zones. Not only the safety of our workers, but their own safety as well. Since March 2020, PennDOT and the Pennsylvania Turnpike Commission deployed mobile speed enforcement units pairing cameras with speed timing devices in selected work zone statewide. The cameras take photos of license plates of any vehicle exceeding the work zone speed limit by 11 miles more per hour when workers are present. Violators receive a warning letter for a first offense, a violation notice and $75 fine for a second offense, and a violation notice and $150 fine for third and subsequent offenses. These violations are civil penalties only, and no points are assessed to the driver's licenses. The goal of the Automated Work Zone Speed Enforcement Program, also known as AWSE for short, is to reduce work zone speeds, change driver behavior, and improve work zone safety for workers and motorists. And it's working. It's working. Results include the AWSE annual legislative report show that speeding in the AWSE enforced work zones was reduced to 20% of all traffic in 2021. That's down from 35% at the start of the program, which was in 2019. Similarly, excessive speeding was reduced to 3%, down from 8% at the start of the program. Smaller but measurable reductions in speed have been observed in work zones at times where AWSE is not in effect. Drivers will see plenty of work zone this year. We will have more than 1,800 construction projects underway, starting or going out for bid in 2022. That means lots of improvements coming your way, but it also means drivers need to pay attention to the dads, moms, brothers and sisters and children who are working on those projects. Whether they are PennDOT's workers or workers employed by construction companies or traffic control companies, everyone deserves to get home safely. Please slow down and pay attention while driving, especially in work zones where roadway conditions can change on a daily basis. Working together, we can keep our workers safe, because safety is everyone's responsibility. Thank you. I will now turn it over to Major Robert Cole of the Pennsylvania State Police.
Thank you, Secretary Gramian, for the introduction, and thank you to everyone here today as we cover a very important topic, National Work Zone Safety Awareness Week. Keeping the roads of the Commonwealth safe is a core function of the Pennsylvania State Police, and it is not something that we do alone. Springtime in Pennsylvania means road work will be ramping up, as it is the unofficial start of the construction season. In fact, National Work Zone Awareness Week runs April 11th through the 15th. According to preliminary PennDOT data, as mentioned by Secretary Gramian, in 2021, there was 1,617 work zone crashes, which resulted in 15 fatalities. That is clearly unacceptable. Troopers, road crews, and other first responders work alongside the busy highways every day. The lives of these men and women are put at risk by drivers who are irresponsible, do not slow down, and are inattentive in work zones and in emergency response scenes. We understand that no one enjoys being caught in construction zone traffic, but imagine the pain of losing a loved one who was doing his or her job, working outside in the elements to keep other travelers safe by improving the roadways, and losing them because of the carelessness of an inattentive or an impaired driver. There is simply no excuse. We ask that you slow down in work zones, obey the posted speed limits, and please buckle up so if you are involved in a crash, there's less likelihood of being injured or resulting in a fatality. Put your cell phone down and eliminate all other distractions in the vehicle while driving. Driving is a task that must have your full attention and focus. In October of 2018, legislation came about authorizing the Automated Work Zone Speed Enforcement Program in Pennsylvania, designed to keep workers safe in our construction zones. Work zone cameras are used only during active work zones to target speeders. Driving 11 miles or more over the posted speed limit in a work zone where the Automated Work Zone Enforcement System is in use will result in a civil violation penalty, with the first offense being a written warning, second offense $75, and third or subsequent offenses $150 each. In addition to slowing down in work zones, I also would like to call your attention to the move over law in Pennsylvania. This law requires drivers approaching an emergency response area to move to a lane adjacent to where the workers are, to leave a safe, clear lane next to them. Drivers who are unable to safely merge into an adjacent lane away from the emergency response area are required to slow to a speed not more than 20 miles an hour less than the posted speed limit. In other words, if you are unable to move over, drivers should gradually slow their vehicle rather than slamming on their brakes, as this could potentially cause a chain reaction crash. Remember that you must move over in emergency response areas, and that includes areas where there are active police, fire, EMS, tow truck drivers, and other roadside assistance vehicles. Furthermore, the law now requires that you move over for all vehicles, not just emergency responders, provided there are 2 displays present with a disabled vehicle. These displays include the vehicle's hazard lights, caution signs, triangles, road flares, traffic cones, and other warning devices. The bottom line is this: as you're traveling this spring, please do your part to keep your fellow drivers and everyone who works alongside Pennsylvania's highways safe. If you see a work zone, it is a sign for you to slow down. And remember, when traveling through them, to turn on your headlights. And now, I'll turn it over to Pennsylvania Turnpike Commission CEO, Mark Compton.
Thank you, Major. Good afternoon, everybody. It's great to be here and be with you. You know, I must tell you, in these jobs, we have a lot of opportunity to speak at different events, but I'll tell you that we all share the same vision, that our message today is the most vital that we send out to you at this occasion. And that's what we're here to speak about today. We at the Turnpike, our traffic, the majority of our traffic has returned from the post-pandemic, from pre-pandemic levels. So we're back at over 95%. But I'm also, in that same vein, must tell you that safe travel habits have not returned as the traffic has returned. And that's an important message that you all need to know as we're here today. So as part of that, as part of that effort, it's important that you realize the control you have whenever you operate your vehicle. In these jobs, we've also had the unfortunate opportunity to have our employees and our colleagues involved in accidents and crashes that have involved loss of life. And obviously that leads to nothing other than brokenness. That's brokenness for our employees that are involved, for their families, for their work colleagues, and it's also brokenness for the person who made that mistake that day. And I tell you, it typically is a mistake because that person, the ones that I've been involved with, didn't wake up that day and say, I'm going to take a life today. But that's exactly what happened in these incidents. And it's all can be avoided. That's the shame of it all. That brokenness can be avoided if we, as drivers, realize the power we have when we're behind the controls of that vehicle. We, as drivers, can avoid those type of events if we take control and realize the power that we have. It's also important that you know that driving is a 24/7, and construction and incident is also a 24/7 operation. We at the Turnpike and also the Secretary with PennDOT are doing more and more night work every year based on those traffic volumes. So yes, you can have a crew in front of you or work zone being active at 2 a.m. That is not uncommon any longer. It's also not uncommon that tragedy strikes in an event ahead of you, to where please pay attention to the lights, the sirens, and the aero boards as you go through that event. Just want to, if I could, take your attention to the picture that you see here. In it, we give our employees hats and vests and cones. That's what they have to protect themselves. You, as a driver, driving a very heavy vehicle, 55, 60 miles an hour, the cones, the vests, and the hats don't do much in that environment. So please take control of your vehicle at 100% of the time when you're in it. Lead by example. And I, the father of a 16-year-old girl who just got her license, it's incumbent on me as her father to make sure that she knows the dangers that are out there and the power that she holds behind when she's behind the wheel. Ask you please to do the same with your loved ones as well. Set the example, lead by example, and please work with those around you and in your families to notify them and have them be also understood of the power they hold when they're behind the wheel. With that, I'll turn it over to our great partner and stakeholder, Mr. Bob Latham, who serves as the Executive Vice President for the Associated Pennsylvania Constructors. Bob?
Thank you, Mark. Appreciate it very much. The Associated Pennsylvania Constructors is an organization comprised of about 150 construction contractors, private companies throughout the state of Pennsylvania. And I just want to add just a couple of comments to the end here. As was pointed out, most of the work being done around the state is all under traffic. We're doing very, very little new construction. It's all rehabilitation of our bridges, rehabilitation of our roadways. I want to mention that we have about 19,000 workers out there. That's a lot of people. We're at 600 locations throughout the state of Pennsylvania on the average per year. So we have a lot of operations out there, a lot of people that are dependent on safe travel by motorists through their work zones. You know, one of the things that you see sometimes when you drive around your neighborhood where you live are little signs that people put out. It says, "Drive like your children play here." And that's a key point, I think, if you think about it that way. Drive like your parents are here. Drive like your children are here. Drive like your aunts and uncles are here. And I think that this is a very wonderful illustration of what it's like. If you've ever had to run out of gas or had a flat tire and had to pull over on the interstate and see and experience what it's like to be by the side of the road. People that work on roads, whether they work for the department, the Turnpike Commission, or private companies, work under those conditions for 8 hours a day. So we're asking everybody, please think about them. Drive like it says here. Drive like this is your office. And please slow down. We're happy to be here to support National Work Zone Safety Awareness Week. And thank you very much.